So let's talk about the creme de la creme, Secret Invasion. You've all
Cream
had
de la
weeks to
cream,
watch
man.
this damn show.
Top shelf, you know.
So what's up with this Secret Invasion, the newest Marvel television series? We are officially as of Wednesday, we are halfway through the series. 6 episodes. Third episode just came out. A lot of interesting stuff going on in the show. I, for one, love the spy espionage corner of the MCU. I think it's one of the best corners of the MCU, hands down. Um, so there's been a lot going on these past 3 weeks. Secret Invasion follows Nick Fury as he returns to Earth to try to put a stop to the invasion that is happening from the Skrulls. There's a
Secret.
group of Skrulls. Secret invasion, yes, secret invasion that is happening with the Skrulls. Um, the Skrulls, they are the shape-shifting aliens that were first seen in the Captain Marvel movie. For those of you who only see the MCU movies, and there's a group of them who are upset that Nick Fury was gone for so long and didn't never came back to keep true to his word of finding them another home after they were essentially ran off from their home in space. Whole bunch of space drama there. But so this series, like I said, it just follows Nick Fury's return to Earth and him trying to stop this secret invasion before things get way out of hand and the Skrulls not only take over the planet, but eradicate humans as a result. This has appearances from General Ross, played by Martin Freeman, Agent Hill, played by
Wait, who's
I
playing
said General Ross. I meant to say Agent Ross. Agent Hill, played by Kobe Smulders, and Rhodey, played by Don Cheadle, as well as the return of Talos, who's played by Ben Mendelsohn, and the Amelia Clark is in this as well, playing the grown-up version of Talos' daughter. And you got a whole bunch of other people in here whose names I don't remember off the top of my head. But I want to know, Mike, I assume you've watched all 3 episodes.
Yes, sir.
JV, have you peeked into Secret Invasion?
Not yet.
Oh, you're fired. No, I'm just playing. Yeah, 3 weeks. No, I'm saying. All right, so Mike, let's get into it. What do we want to start talking about this? We got like 3 episodes worth of stuff to talk about. A lot happened. We are going to be doing spoilers though, because like I said, this is 3 weeks in. So if you haven't seen at least the first 2 episodes, then like,
What are you doing with yourself?
Well, yeah, what are you doing? Like, why are you not watching Secret Invasion right now? If you're an MCU fan like you claim to be. But yeah, I guess let's start somewhere in the first episode. I was shocked about Ross. I'm not even gonna hold you. I was shocked.
Yeah. Well, yeah. What shocked me most with the first episode was the Maria Hill thing at the end.
Yeah.
With Ross though, that was a pretty weird turn of events. But then at the same time, it's just like you got to think about what happened at the end of Black Panther. So Ross is in Wakanda. At least I think. Right?
Oh, so they took him back to Wakanda.
I mean, that's what I think they took him. Because where else would you take him?
Well, I just thought again, they did take him with him. They did take him with them. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, okay, because he's a fugitive in the States anyway right now. He's a fugitive. Yeah, that was a shock. So and that didn't run through my mind the first time. I just thought he was back out on the streets and everything, just doing spy stuff. But it really was a shock. And what got me is when he went to go jump across the roofs and just fell straight to the ground. I was like, holy shit. Like that was that was a shock. That was I did not see that coming. Obviously, nobody saw that coming, but I definitely didn't see it coming. Um, and then for the other scroll to have turned out to be well, one of the other people to turn out to have been Talos. I completely forgot about Talos myself. Um, yeah, no, that was really good, really interesting. It was good seeing Nick Fury kind of come back. And I like how they kind of really are kind of dealing with how he handled the whole blip, being snapped away and everything. Um, yeah, I like that. I like how they're handling how they're addressing how he handled that.
It's
Um,
giving Iron Man 3.
you think so?
Um, I mean, that's how that like that's how the scrolls are making it seem like that he had like it's making it seem like he had PTSD.
Yeah. Um, yeah, nah, it is good. I like the like I said, I like the whole spy and the whole serious tone of that corner of the MCU. It's like the most entertaining. And you're right, Maria Hill dying at the end of that. Oof, boy,
Yeah,
I
that shit
didn't.
was insane.
Yeah, that was crazy. Yeah, and I was a little confused at first though in the first episode. I'm not gonna lie to you, because like I forgot Talos had a wife.
Yeah. Well, she was very important in Captain Marvel. Like she was one of his main
I
goals for
and
doing anything.
see, and that's why, because Captain Marvel. Yeah,
Oh,
see,
you didn't
Captain
like
Marvel
Captain
was a
Marvel?
movie I actively avoid.
I
Yeah,
didn't
I don't
mind Captain
even.
Marvel.
What you say?
I said I didn't mind it.
I didn't like it. I didn't like it.
But
Mm.
did you not like it because of Brie Larson or just because of the movie in general?
Um, I'll start by saying Brie Larson is a good actress. I've seen her in good roles. I didn't realize that was her in Scott Pilgrim, which is one of my favorite movies, and I didn't realize that was her in Skull Island until after I was keyed into the fact that she was going to be portraying Captain Marvel. I don't like her performance in it though. It was
Did you know that was Loki in Skull Island?
I did that much. I did know. I also knew it was Nick Fury in there too,
Mm-hmm. Well,
and the
everybody
one
said
random guy in Guardians of the Galaxy that was also in Step Brothers. Yeah,
that.
but nah, it's just her acting was just like I don't know, like the way she portrayed the character just wasn't as interesting to me, and the movie wasn't that. I mean, the movie was. I guess it was really the fact that they hyped it up so much to be so important to everything else. But then even outside of that, I was just bored. Like I remember watching it, I was just like, wow, I'm not really interested in any of this that's going on. Like it didn't interest me. It didn't grab my attention. And I don't know. And even when I go back to watch it, I've tried. I've actively tried to go back and watch Captain Marvel. I'll get farther in the Eternals than I will in Captain Marvel.
Really?
Yes.
And that's saying
Um,
something.
it is. And Secret Invasion is kind of slowly changing my like it kind of makes me want to go back and watch it. Secret Invasion does because like it's like there that's not to say there weren't good things about Captain Marvel. And I hate to be a retroactive person because I spent so much time saying I did not like Captain Marvel, but we grow, we change, and so does our opinion sometimes. So that's how I feel about that. So I don't know. Maybe I'll give it a shot again. Maybe we'll see. Um, but yeah, getting back to Secret Invasion though, I do. It's nice. The second episode, the end of the second episode really kind of caught me off guard completely because knowing that Nick Fury has been getting what they call it, scrollussy this whole time. Uh, definitely something. Jay, we not to spoil it for you, but Nick Fury has definitely been banging an alien this entire time.
Yeah.
So be prepared for that reveal. Uh, he's definitely been banging an alien this entire time. So that's very interesting. Um, and I think even with this recent episode, they're kind of hinting at not hinting, they're just outright pretty much saying that hey, she's not who she's not on the side that we think she's on. But I think that could be a red herring as well. Um, what do you think about Don Cheadle's Rhodey? What do you think about Rhodey being a scroll? Do you think that's true?
Big time.
Big time. What's your reasoning behind it? Because I'm not completely sold on the idea, but I see the different theories and reasonings. But what's yours?
Because Terrence Howard is the real roadie, man.
What is that?
Nah, it's mainly because I think Rhodey and the president, even though they didn't show much of the president, I just think by the way that they're moving and the fact that like if Rhodey was introduced to Skrulls, they would have said something like, and they would have said something in any of the things that he was in, or movie wise, or maybe even giving him his own little short or something like that, like something because they done stupider shit for Marvel. But Rhodey, he's all with this whole plan. Like, oh, 13 years ago, I got introduced to the Skrulls and stuff like that. Like, when? Doing what? Like, because 13 years ago, like you was in the
Yeah,
army. Like, you feel me? Like,
yeah. And then some people are saying because he called him Nick instead of Fury, because apparently nobody calls him Nick. Everybody just calls him Fury.
yeah.
They said that
And
was a
he and
dead
that's
giveaway right
one thing
there.
he kept, like, fuck. He kept stressing in Captain Marvel and stuff like that. He was just like, he was just like only Fury, and it was just like my mama calls me Fury. This person calls me Fury, and then Captain Marvel was just like, well, what about your wife? Well, she would call me Fury if I had one. My kids, just Fury.
Yeah, but to that credit, I think that Rhodey is kind of like one of the only people that could call him Fury. I mean, not Fury, call him Nick. I don't know. I just hope that he's not a scroll. I desperately hope that he's not a scroll. And if he is, then I hope that the real Rhodey is somewhere in one of those pods,
Terrence Howard, man.
Because War Machine is supposed to get his own movie and everything. So I'm like really concerned right now if he's really a scroll. But yeah, I get and speaking of which, though, kind of backtracking a little bit, the performance from Samuel Jackson. This is like, I don't know if it's just because I like Samuel Jackson as an actor, or if it's because he's really putting a lot into this role right now. But he's killing it.
Yeah.
He is killing it. Like that whole scene with him and Talos on the train, and he was saying, he was doing he was telling about, tell me something I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he found out how long the scrolls was on Earth, or no, not how long,
A
how many
million.
of them were on Earth.
You tell me it's a million scrolls. Have you lost your reptilian ass mind?
I love that. I was like, yo, like, because he acted the shit out of that. And I don't know what it is. I can listen to Nick Fury. I can listen to Samuel Jackson tell a story about anything, any day, for as long as he tells the fucking story. He was like, yeah.
Back in the day. Oh hell, she gave me.
Me and Susie, we was back there doing a bunch of stuff, but she didn't know that. But as soon as I gave her the answer, oh, you can imagine, she figured it all out from there. And needless to say, it's a little bit of an issue, but we all overcame it. I can listen to Samuel Jackson tell a story like that all day. I promise you.
He said, "Tell me something I don't know about the destruction of Skrullos."
I'm like, well, we were ran out of our homes. Now, see, that's something I do know. Tell me something I don't know.
Well, you know everything, Fury. You know everything that there is to know.
Well,
I've told
apparently
you.
I don't. How many of you were here? How many?
No, you know what the funniest thing of it was?
What?
And I think it was episode 3. But that pussy Telos said, "You know, when I show up the Earth, me and all not eating my people." I was like, "What the fuck did he just say?" That pussy said, "Oh
Nah,
my."
what got me? What got me is when he was giving that whole speech in the car. He was like, "Why we stop? Because we're outside of the place we're supposed to be at." Bob, I swear, if this was if this was like R rated or something like that, or if you could say the F word, he'd be like, Bob, the motherfucker we here to kill.
I mean, apparently you can drop an F bomb. I don't know. MCU changing now.
Maybe not on Disney Plus. Maybe not yet. It's still Disney Plus we talking about. So
Yeah, but
Disney in the name.
get in the fucking car. I don't know. Or open the fucking
Open
door.
the
I
fucking
don't
door.
know. I don't know.
Yo, that was single-handedly like that was the best way to drop that F-bomb too. I ain't gonna hold you. That was
Nah,
hilarious. This nigga
it was
said,
just because it was just so unexpected. Like,
yeah, he's just like, okay, now what? Open the fucking door. That was hilarious. That was Guardians of the Galaxy 3 for those of y'all who don't know. The first MCU F bomb to have been dropped was in Guardians of the Galaxy 3 in a very hilarious scene. Yeah, that was worth it. But yeah, nah, that was funny. I like their dynamic. I will say that. I do like the Talos and Fury dynamic. I like the ups and the downs that it has, but you can really see like Talos is like the last person Fury really has to like trust. And that trust is still a little shaky, but I really do enjoy how they get along. It's a really good dynamic, and the way they play off of each other is just it's really good. It's
that's like I
really
said.
good.
When you asked him, he was like, "Why aren't you with Gravit?" You know, that was one of the realest things. I'm not with Gravit because I'm with you, Shorty. You're my friend.
Yeah,
I don't use this
that
truck
was real. That
too
was
often.
real.
Like, yeah.
That was real. And then even when they were in the car, getting back to the car scene, like he was just like, what do you say? He's like all people working for you, spying on everything for you. And I didn't even ask for a thank you. And I don't even want it. But just
Mm-hmm.
some type of appreciation. That was, and then when he got up there was like you're welcome for saving your life, Talos.
Mm-hmm.
Like Samuel Jackson is just such a goat. Like he's just the goat, man. Samuel Jackson's the goat on everything, man. He's got this natural cool with him. It's just like, and when he's playing Nick Fury, he's in like this, and you can tell he's like in this zone, and it's really good. Like all 3 episodes, I like the conversation him and Rhodey had. I love that kind of him. Samuel Jackson and Don Cheadle playing off each other was really good too. Really
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
Really good. Not just because they were having the conversation about being 2 black men who had to work their way up through the system and all that, but really just because of just how well it was played. You know, it's just and it just felt real. You know, it felt real. A little bit forced. I will say that a little bit forced. The with the whole dialogue and pointing it out that they're two black men who had to climb up through the ranks and everything. A little forced, but still good nonetheless. Um, yeah.
It's
I mean, you
local.
guys.
I'm broken. I Sturko. Yeah, Sturko.
What?
Lilo and Stitch. It's a little
Ah,
unbroken. Still good.
ah, yeah, still good. I got you. Yeah, but I mean, other like it's really I like the direction that the show is going. I can't say that enough. I mean, you got anything else to add about it, Mike?
um, I'm just looking forward to see where else we're going from here and stuff like that. I ain't gonna lie, I was hoping for a little bit more with this week's episode. Granted, like his daughter dying is important, but I was still hoping for a bit more of a
Mhm.
bitch of like a turn up, like, and there was the I feel like, damn, I'm doing like mad spoilers. There was the double S shout out, and it was partially shown.
Oh yeah,
You know,
that was dope. Hey, speaking of which, I did like that scene too, where he was having the conversation with Gravik. Taylor from Gravik's having that conversation, and Gravik just
mm,
kept bringing up Taylor's daughter name. And when he stabbed his damn hand on that damn table, got up and choked his ass and said, "From now until the end of time, you will keep my daughter's name out of your mouth."
mm-hmm.
Yo, when he did that, I stood up and started clapping. I ain't gonna hold you. I said, yeah. I said, get his ass. Cause I like that. Cause it's like Taylor's not playing about his daughter. And it's like, I'm like, yo, that's how I'm gonna be. Like, yo, listen, you keep bringing my daughter name up, watch her. And Gravik was scared. You see that Gravik face was just like, shit.
I wouldn't say scared,
And he knew not to fuck around.
but at the same time, did he though? Because look where they was.
Yeah, but still, like, yeah, I saw the shame on his face. Even when he got back in the car with the daughter, he was just kind of just like he was a little shook. He was a little shook. He wasn't expecting
I
Taylor to
think
get
he
up and
was.
do that.
Yeah, he probably wasn't expecting that because, like he said, like Talos is like they've been saying, he's a shell of a man that he once was. Like everybody think Talos is this, just asshole now.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I think is interesting about the dynamic between Talos and Fury too, is because like they're both seen as washed up. Like you're washed up. You're not the same. You don't have your edge like you used to. And they're both just men trying to prove that no, that's not the case. Like, don't get it fucked up. I still come over here and whip you if I
Even
got
when
to. I
I'm
can
out,
still turn up.
even when I'm out, I'm in.
Yeah, that was a bad ass line too. I'm Nick Fury. Even when I'm out, I'm in. Yeah, Samuel Jackson, man. I'll tell you. I'll tell you. So I wonder, and I know, we still got 3 episodes left. Two things I'm hoping for with the series is one, I hope that because I know that this week, to your credit though, this week's episode was kind of a little light on a lot of stuff, but I realized it was also a very short episode. It was like 30 minutes.
Yeah,
And the other two was like 50 something minutes apiece.
yeah.
So I'm hoping that the rest of the episodes get back to the longer lengths. And I'm hoping that the last episode doesn't do what the other Marvel series are known for doing, which is just like
Prepare
try
for
to wrap
season 2.
everything up real. What do you say?
Yeah, we'll try to wrap everything up and prepare for season 2.
Yeah, yeah, or like prepare for the next thing in the Marvel timeline or whatever. And I also hope that even with the end, because if you guys saw the Captain Marvel the Marvels trailer, the Captain Marvel sequel, y'all probably noticed that Nick Fury is in there with his eye patch and his leather jacket in space, clean cut face. How do we get back to that point? Is what I'm curious about. We're working with Monica Rambeau and all
I
that
think
stuff. Like
it's
how do
beforehand.
nah, apparently I think that's after. I think the Marvels is I don't know. I don't know. Well, it can't I'll say why it can't be before because Fury's been in space this whole time. I don't know. This timeline is
Unless
ridiculous.
this Furious Scroll too?
I don't know anymore. This timeline is confusing in Marvel because like you would really have to know where that last scene in Miss Marvel takes place. Because remember, I don't know if you watched Miss Marvel, but in Miss Marvel, when she used her power or
Teleporter.
something like that, at the end, she switched places with Captain Marvel,
Yeah.
which is something that's gonna happen in the movie as well. They're gonna like retread that ground in the movie. And if all that happens, because you gotta figure if she's switching places with Captain Marvel and then Monica Rambeau is gonna switch places with Kamala Khan, and Fury's there working with Monica Rambeau.
And we haven't even seen Monica Rambeau since WandaVision.
Exactly. So it's when does all this take place? Is the question. Because apparently Hawkeye and Spider-Man No Way Home took place around the same time.
Yeah. Well, we know Hawkeye took place at Christmas.
Yeah.
And Spider-Man was like right after Christmas. Spider-Man was like one of the first things in the new year.
Oh, that was the New Year.
I think so.
I thought that was still Christmas.
You
I just
think it
still
was
saw
still
the tree
Christmas?
up soon. Cause I thought I saw a Christmas tree when he was doing the final swing at the end of the movie.
Oh yeah. Because matter of fact, yeah, because Spider-Man definitely did come out first, or like around the same time, and he did it with the new suit. It was swing when
Yeah.
he was swinging in snow. Wasn't
So
it?
then, yeah, no, you're right. You're right. So then, would that mean that? I don't know, man. This MCU timeline is confusing. I guess it's only confusing if you think about it too much, though, because like just because they're in New York doesn't mean they're in the same part of New York. So it's like, what part of New York was Hawkeye in?
Well, that's the thing that everybody always gets mad at with just Marvel in general. It's just like you guys got all these superheroes in New York, and only the Avengers team up. Like y'all literally be 6 blocks away from each other, and y'all don't even know each other half the time.
I saw that criticism today on Twitter, as a matter of fact, where someone was like, DC is better just because they're all in different cities. So at least it makes sense. Like Central City is over here, Gotham City, Metropolis. What's the other place?
Star
Star
City,
City? Yeah,
yeah.
Star City. And it's like they're all their own fleshed out cities, far enough away from each other to where it's like, if I never heard of the Flash, okay, cool. Because if I have, it's like, wow, your heroics have made it all the way over here to me. Like everybody knows about Batman because Batman's like a legend. People know about Superman because Superman's a legend. But then you got the smaller heroes, and it's just like, I don't know anything about a Flash. Well, who are you? But now to your credit, yeah, like MCU, you got everybody packed into New York, but these niggas have never seen each other.
At all.
Or they never had to intersect with each other. Because in my mind, there's no reason why Spider-Man shouldn't have at least stop by to help Hawkeye out with Kingpin?
He was busy being
Busy
a
doing.
high school student.
No, not at the end of No Way Home. He wasn't. Not at the end of No Way Home. He wasn't. He was swinging. Where were you going, sir? Where were you going?
To do
Because it
spider
damn sure
things.
wasn't to go help Hawkeye.
To do spider things.
To go Spider-Man PS4 it up.
Yeah. Had to get some PR shots.
I got one thing to say about Spider-Man, but real quick, wrapping up because we jump all over the MCU now with Secret Invasion, but the last 3 episodes, I'm really looking forward to the last 3 episodes. Yeah, I am as curious as everyone else to know whether or not Nick Fury is a Skrull. Mike, you got any? What's your rating for the series so far? What's your rating?
I gave it a 6.5.
6.5.
6.5, 7. It's all right. Oh my god,
Okay.
come on. Like it's all right. It's just a little slow for me. Like I like where they're going with it though. Like it's a good story to tell, and it's the Skrull invasion is a long story to tell. And that's why
Mm-hmm.
I'm even hoping with things like I said, like with the president and shit like that. Like that's because I hope it is. Granted, I wish they would have also. I wish they would have also used things like this to introduce fucking Norman Osborn into the MCU because, in my opinion, it would have been the perfect way to do it because one, we don't necessarily know who the presidential figure is in the Marvel universe. We don't know
Mm-hmm.
who any of the campaigning figureheads are. As that so to say. You know, like all we know is that Tony Stark had money and shit like that. Like that's what I'm getting at. So like, if they would have been like, you know, and also it would have made sense as to a reason why there's like no Harry Osborn or something like that because they all been kidnapped by the Skrulls. So then like
Right.
imagine if like a new presidential race came on and it was like he was a Skrull, granted, but then they're like, oh, like what's your name? What's your big campaign? And he's like, oh, I'm Norman Osborn. And it's like bum bum bum. But then obviously they would have made him a Skrull, and then they could have chosen who was going to be the real Norman Osborn or however they wanted it to be. But at least they would have brought in somebody different. But I like the series so far. I just feel like it's just a little slow for me.
Okay. I can yeah, I can understand where you can see it was slow. Me personally, like I said, and I say this all the time, I love this corner, the espionage and all that. I love that coming from the MCU. In particular. Um with the president, I think Thunderbolt Ross is supposed to be the president of the MCU.
Yeah, but was that Harrison Ford?
Yeah,
Fuck.
Harrison Ford.
But I'm saying, was that him when Rhodey was talking to the president? Like, was that Harrison
Oh
Ford?
no, not at this time. No, it's not. It's some I don't actually I don't know who exactly is the president at this time. And I guess that kind of goes into the timeline of things too, because I don't know at what point Ross does become president.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, they could have introduced Norman Osborn. They could have made that the presidential campaign.
I
Norman
got you.
Osborn versus, Thunderbolt Ross type shit. Like,
Yeah.
it could have made that
Okay.
the presidential campaign, like something. But granted, I mean, it can still happen because they didn't even say the president's name. Like, Rhodey just kept saying the president. And even when he met him, he was just like, Mr. President. It's still, even still, they still might fuck around back President Osborne. I don't know.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. But I guess I don't mind the pacing of the series. I just know that with 6 episodes and being midway through, I guess this is the point where I start to get a little shaky. Just in terms of I'm hoping that the lengths go back to being longer with the episodes so that we can get more done in the episode so that we don't feel like it's jamming everything into like the last 2 episodes or last episode.
Right.
Um I like the scroll approach to it. It really is doing a good job of making you not know what you can trust when you're watching it. Um, what's real, what's not real. In terms of people who aren't already confirmed to be scrolls.
He's
Um,
phony. She's fake. Let's put the
Oh, I
lie.
hate. If you're real, then you know what, clap your hands. If you're real, then you know what, clap your hands. You real. He's not. He's real. He's not. You know what, clap
That should have been the theme song.
yeah, for the Secret Invasion, right?
Mm-hmm.
um, but yeah, I think it's good. Yeah, currently my rating for it, I'll stick with your scale of 1 to 10. I'll say 7. As well. I hit it with a 7. It's nice. I enjoy it. Um, it's yeah. I hear people say that this could have been Captain Marvel 2. People say it's obvious that this was supposed
Exactly.
to be Captain Marvel 2.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
I don't see how obvious it is. I mean, I did read the facts behind it, and how people think that or how people see that it's obvious that it was supposed to be a Captain Marvel 2, and then they just turned it to a Nick Fury show. Um, I do kind of agree. It would have this would have been a little nicer to see as an event film as opposed to an event TV series, because while the stakes are high, they're also low because you can't get any Avengers involved in this. Mostly because there kind of really isn't a concrete Avengers team.
That's true.
Um, which I wouldn't want to call in a team that I don't know who everyone is on there either. And they do kind of say, it would just make them all fugitives anyway, because the Skrulls would then go to replace them and everything, or make them go at war with each other, which was kind of the point of the Secret Invasion comic book anyway.
Uh-huh.
But with this being its own thing, and the creators were told not to read the comic books at all, just to do their thing that they're going to do. Um, for better or for worse, this is what we have, and I'm enjoying it. But even with them going and doing the and spoilers for anybody, but again, this was revealed in episode 2 in a way. With them going for doing the Super Scroll, um, I think it's interesting how they're approaching it. What they're going
That
to approach it with.
yeah, I was gonna say, even though that's a different take, I like it.
Yeah,
So
it definitely fits into the universe.
mm-hmm.
Um, So yeah, I'm hoping that my momentum for this stays high. Hoping that the series ends on a very good note. And yeah, that's really all I have to say about it. So I like it. 7 stars from me. Um,
Granted,
yeah, and
they they could have again. This is me, doing a lot of off-screen shopping, you know,
uh-huh.
but they could have brought in the Fantastic Four that way as well. And the reason we've never heard about them is because Gravik and the other Skrulls have had these people locked away
Mm-hmm.
since they got back. You know,
Right.
R.I.P. to what was a deep voice name that played the Mr. Storm in the or the fuck was his name? Johnny and Sue's dad, Invisible Woman and
Oh,
Human Torch.
damn! I know who you're talking about. I know who you talk about. I can't remember his name right now, though.
Yeah, and I'm trying to
Talk
think
about
of the actor.
from Fan Force.
Huh?
Talk about from Fan Four Stick, right?
Yeah. Even
Let
though
me
he's a
see.
dope actor and he's the last on screen that we seen as their dad, you could have brought him in, not him as the person, obviously, because he's passed, but you could have brought Mr. Storm or back. I don't know why I can't think of his name right now, but you could have brought him in as a scroll.
Reggie Kathy.
Yeah. Um, you could have brought
Yeah,
him in as a
that would have been
scroll.
cool.
And then it's just like the whole time, like that's the reason we never heard about any of it, because like the whole time he's been a scroll. Like, so even when they went to get these little experiments and shit like done, like the whole time it's been under scroll control. So that's why we've never
Yeah.
really heard about it.
Yeah, it's ways they could have incorporated more of the wider MCU into things. But I mean, we still got 3 episodes left, so who knows what they'll pull off. But I mean, if you ask me personally, I don't think it'll be anything significant. In terms of having new characters in the MCU.
Yeah, I mean, granted, I'm like I said, I'm just a person that's looking forward to a lot of shit, dreaming through the looking glass. Um,
Right.
Trust me, I know we still got a ways to go. Like I said, they didn't even say the word mutant yet. They only said mutation. You know?
Well, they did say mutants. They did.
No, they
Somebody
didn't.
said mutant, like the actual word mutant. Namor said mutant.
Oh yeah, he did. I was a mutant. I grew wings from my ankles. My ears pointed to the sky.
Yo, how funny would it have been? How funny would it have been if in the Wakanda Forever when he said mutant, you'd have heard like with the Black Panther instruments.
Nah, I would have cried. Oh, I would That's funny as
Oh
shit.
man. Nah, they really be killing it with that Black Panther music though. But yeah, so I guess that's it for Secret Invasion though. Make sure y'all check it out now on Disney Plus, that you want to do.